fatherhood?
It's awesome. You know? No, it's great.
Yeah, the best, man.
It's great.
Has the baby smiled first time when you look at the baby? Has it happened yet?
No, not yet. She smiles like when she's sleeping, and it's like just reflexes, and so you like get a little sense, but she hasn't learned how to do that yet. But no, it's fantastic. Honestly, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, first smile. Like I still remember first smile for both of my kids, and both of them were like very photogenic from the very first go. Like we were holding, and they're like both smiling. I'm like, let's take a picture. So awesome. It's funny on different ways. But congratulations to you and your family.
Thank you.
What are you naming her?
Her name is Sienna.
Sienna.
Yes.
Nice. That's a beautiful name.
Yes, thank you.
Sounds like a princess name.
we named her after a city in Italy that we love. So
makes sense.
We added an N.
That's fair, man. Well, welcome back. We missed you last week, and we were just talking about Sabashiki as well. We missed her as well, but Drew held the fort. Drew can't be here, and then we can probably have Drew back next time as well.
Awesome.
And Jojo, of course, is a forever filler. I love him. So I sent the topics, and there are 4 topics that, again, because I'm curating, I get to pick. If you have any of the topics that you guys want to talk about, I'm open to it. But these are the topics that like drew my attention towards it. I'll just go through the topics one more time. Warpcast launch streaks. I would love to hear from you guys in terms of like if you tried, if you like. I have mixed feelings. I want to try it, but I don't want to try it. All those things. There was interesting conversation on TED channel about dev versus cultural leaders, and oh my god, she picked 2 audiences so well in terms of making them fight, in my opinion. So it was like if you look at the comment section, there was like people are still polite, but like polite bloodbath, I would say. But otherwise, like people were fighting in like one over the other, and they have like strong opinions. BLINKS by Solana, oh my god, that's just amazing. I think what they did there is mind-bogglingly good if the adoption can come. There are pluses and minuses, but that's amazing. And we can probably end the conversation with like what Hypersummer is, in my opinion, what's happening, and I would love to get your opinion. So those are the 4 topics. Streaks. Sorry, by the way, any other topic you guys want to add to the list?
I love it.
Okay, perfect. Cool. So streaks, have you guys tried it? Whoever want to take over.
Yeah, well, I tried it. I started it, and obviously, there are so many channels that we are already active in, but streaks is, I feel like it's just an opportunity to, further champion a channel that you truly believe in. And this is a little conflicting as a founder because socially I'm active in so many channels like founder channel, base channel, etc. But when it comes to choosing a streak, I chose my own project because obviously I want people to come to my profile and see that this is like an alive and kicking channel. However, there is no incentive for me to sort of push my community to also do the same. Like I have people that post regularly and they've already done it. But like I don't have anything to incentivize or, request of my community of this. So, yeah.
There is no way to even do like a streak, like top 10 streakers, if that's a word. Top 10 longest streak holders. That's not correct. Top 10 streak holders, and you provide it as a frame, and that's a dashboard that you can pin to. That's not possible because APIs are not available. It's still a private thing. But okay, how about you, Jeff?
Yeah, so when I logged in, I had not logged into Warpcast in like 2 weeks or barely explored Warpcast in over 2 weeks. I logged in, I saw streaks, and I was like, oh, this looks awesome. So first impression, I was super excited. And then I clicked on it. It was like, oh, pick a channel. Naturally, I picked Jump. I'm like, I need to be posting in my own community channel every single day. So this is actually a fun incentive just for me to post in my own channel. And as we were talking about it, I casted, and basically fessed up that I have failed my streak twice already.
Fair, yeah, no, absolutely.
I was like, this conversation literally reminded me that, oh shit, I missed my streak again. And that's the second time I've missed it. And I think my longest streak that I was able to get was, and here's where some of the nuance comes in, was 1 day. Even though I posted 2 days in a row, there's it's not super clear when your streak starts and when it ends. It's almost like there needs to be a countdown timer of like, you have this amount of time left for your streak, because like I started my streak and it ended the next day, even though I'm like, wait, no, this is only 1 day later, but it must have been over 24 hours later, right? Like I think that it's on a 24-hour clock from when you start your streak. I don't know. That's just me kind of guessing. Do you know?
Yeah.
So I just clicked the streak thing in my profile, and for me, it's expiring daily at 10:58 p.m. Pacific time.
Okay, so maybe that's new. Maybe that's not on mobile. Maybe that's on desktop. For me, it was super unclear when it was expiring. I bet a bunch of people may have even had that same issue, and that this is a new product update. But I love the idea. I just kind of had some user experience questions around it, and then I was just forgetting to kind of post. But it's cool. I'll attempt it again.
Fair enough. So I basically did not start any streaks because, again, I don't know which channel to pick and which channel to promote. In this case, as you guys know, Percs is not a channel. We decided to do Percs as an account because there are lots of benefits of having an account versus channels. So we were like, what should we do here? And in this case, I didn't start a streak, and because it felt like work rather than doing for fun. Like, and Farcaster is the place for fun. And I saw some influencers debating this, like Samantha, who's like, I already have streaks in Duolingo and a few other apps that I use. If I have one more streak, like I come Farcaster to relax, not to do my work. So in that case, they were like not in favor of it. But you're right. Maybe if there was a timer, maybe there was like they send us a DM saying that you have 5 hours before your streak expires, or some kind of those messaging to remind people of doing something. That might get them. And
I mean,
having an API around that.
And also aligned incentives. So, for example, streaks is used in a lot of questing platforms because, like, if you complete X, Y, Z for so many days, these are the points you get, or this is the extra edge that you get, right? Like we have to ask ourselves, why do we want a streak?
Yeah. I've had, they definitely, Warpcast, Farcaster is still in startup mode where they're like, here's half of the pie or half of the sandwich, which is just the streaks tool. But other than just number go up, they haven't added that last part, which is totally fine. Ship it, test it, figure it out, add to it later. At the end of the day, I think it makes total sense. I don't think they should give up on it. Casting in a channel should be super easy, especially if you're just retweeting, like recasting something. It's like, oh, cool, I have a cast going. Like, this is my favorite channel. I'm going to, whenever I see stuff, I'm going to recast it into it. Like, it's not like when I hear influencers complain about I can't have another questing streak. Oh my God. Like, oh man.
they're already doing those things, right? So one more thing to think about is like, what if there was like an API available and then somebody can put bounties as in like third-party bounties. Channels can say, if you post it here 5 days in a row, then you get some channel points or something like that. And that would be very interesting, rather than like just channels, right? Like, so I'm pretty sure, like Shakti, go ahead. What do you think?
Totally. And also, because Farcaster has been like very, the wants of Farcaster is to have more quality content, but streaks is actually a signifier of quantity.
Mhm.
So how do we assure that what you're posting every day via a streak is meaningful, for example,
Mm.
as opposed to like I could just send a random text string and that would technically count as my day's post, right?
Yeah, it is
So
a good
Wow.
point. It is a good
yeah.
point. It is a quantity incentive and not a quality incentive.
So how do you do quality incentive? Like one way we did it is, or we are trying is, hey, if somebody can use our tools and generate this much amount of traction, and traction is measured in indexing provided by Stack, and like there you can use open, like you can use pretty much anything that basically ranks a post, and if you reach certain traction, then your streak is complete. But now actions and results are two different things in a streak. Like I took the action, but I didn't get the result. Does it mean I my streak is broken? Like how do you feel about that?
I'm actually not aware that you could pick action versus
No, it's not available. I'm just suggesting like if there was, but if
yeah.
there was result, and you're basically talking quantity versus quality, and let's say there is a quality metric, but that means the user results are user actions. They're
Mhm.
two different signification of streak, but
Yeah.
like if you look at the streaks generally come from exercising apps where if you do 10 push-ups a day for 10 days in a row, it's not going and say you lose weight, it's more about you making an effort. So streaks are related to efforts, not related to results. So maybe that's a
Mm.
way to think about it. And like I actually like the quantity base, not the quality base for now, until people come up with something better.
Yeah, yeah. So Farcaster has definitely put in some guardrails for quality. So like if these streaks are tied to channels in a channel, unless a moderator like likes your post or comments on
Discount.
your post is largely invisible. So they do have a quality mechanic. So like
Mm.
even if they are incentivizing quantity, it doesn't necessarily hurt the user experience. It only gives more at bats, more opportunities for a better user experience.
Mm.
Fair.
Yeah, I see
Fair.
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So basically, our request to Farcaster is to like make the channels, make the streak, have a timer, reminder DMs, and maybe figure out like if there is a way to hook it with incentives, which I don't think they would do. But if they open up the APIs, then developers will take care of it,
And they
and they
will.
will go soon.
They will. They totally will.
Yeah.
I am actually thinking they might just like kill this feature because I don't think this feature is well received at this point, and they may resurrect it in the future. But it depends on like what's important because killing feature also is development cycle. So they're like killing is not
Yeah.
even important. Let's just like be zombie, and then in the future we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I also kind of miss the top casters in channel. Like I was a fan of that. I used to see like active channels like DGen or reply guys every day, and like people used to flex, hey, I'm top two in this
Yeah.
channel, I'm like top 10 in this channel, and that actually showed you who were the top contributors in like making this channel buzz. So feature requests bring back top casters for channels.
So would you consider like having uh, a frame with like a bunch of different like dashboards where like the longest streak, the highest, and people are just like whoever comes to your channel, the first one is uh, a frame of different slides, and each slide would signify top 10, let's say top 10 streak people, streak holders, top 10 active, top 10 most influencers, and top maybe some rules of the channel, and people will have to go through it in order to like see the rest of the post, something like that. Is that something you need as a channel? Because I know you're a host of a big channel, Cyber.
Yeah, absolutely. Info and stats are always good for making it easier for people who are discovering new channels. They can see if people that they relate to are here. We can also highlight the top casts in that frame, for example. So
Oh,
people can see what content they vibe with and choose to enter a channel.
that is super cool. Okay, love
Yeah,
it.
especially with like narrow casting and stuff, because like content is now getting streamlined into niche interest-based groups. So probably like a better intro mechanism for channels, and I think this frame is a good idea for it.
Okay, well, don't be surprised if Percs build it. We're still thinking that way. Uh,
Very cool.
all right, so moving to the second topic, uh, we're gonna fight here: devs versus cultural leaders. Who has more influence? And it's not about one is needed and like both are needed. It's more about who has more influence on the growth of something. What do you guys think?
On,
Like this was a hot debate.
so on the growth of something or the growth of Web3?
Any new technology, let's put it that
Because,
way.
because if it's the growth of something, cultural leaders, absolutely.
Okay. So but again, Web 2. Like even if you take Web 2 per se, do you have the same answer?
I mean, Web 2 is honestly more culture driven. So I think in Web 2 influencers do have a larger hold on, especially like niche influencers.
So
But
like I definitely see the argument that someone might say, well, Zuckerberg was a developer. And do you
Yes.
think Zuckerberg had more influence
Yeah.
than Taylor Swift or Kim Kardashian? And it's like, yeah, Zuckerberg impacted the world in a big way, right? Zuckerberg changed the world. He's a developer. Same with the founders of Google and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then, so if you're kind of taking that route, I can see a huge impact. On the other side, take Steve Jobs, for example, cultural leader, not a developer. Apple's had a huge impact on the world.
Internally we actually were discussing like is Steve Jobs a developer or not? Because if you look at the early days of Steve Jobs, he was a coder. Like he basically was like able to put in the whole computer by himself together. It's
He was
just
able
that
to build it or code it.
I think he was able to build the computer by himself. It's just that there were other like
So
Steve Wozniak and
how
few
about this?
other.
Anybody can use ChatGPT and anybody can be a developer.
Yes, I
So
agree.
all cultural leaders are therefore developers, but not all developers are cultural leaders. Therefore, cultural leaders have more impact over developers.
hmm,
Sure, no, that's rare. What do you
I
think,
would say
Shakti?
in the Web3 space, developers by far have more impact than the cultural leaders.
absolutely, that is
100%.
true.
By far, not even close.
So again, in Web3 or anywhere there is a technology first approach where new pathways needs to be built. Now I'm talking about like let's say railroads. I'm talking about radio as communication channel, internet, crypto. Even we can go in the electronics and like solar panels and everywhere. All those there is more influence from the technologists more than developers in general than influencers. But I think social activism for example, like whether it's like the greenhouse effect and like like saving the earth, saving like mindset. I think that's where the influencers do better job than developers. We get developers in most cases would be not as vocal about those issues, although they might be implementing on a daily basis and make sure that they buy green
Right.
stuff, they support the right causes, but they wouldn't be going out of their way to say, you know what, I support Israel over this, or other way around, right? Like I'm not in favor of any of them because I'm
Or
dumb and I don't
or
know.
or just go down the list of various categories. Sports, who influences sports, fashion,
True.
music, right? It's like, of course, like in technology, developers influence it because
because that's their subject matter expert. So basically, subject matter experts run it.
In basketball, like it's almost kind of a sorry, it's a stupid question.
No, that's okay.
This debate, whoever these people are getting heated about it, it's like, okay, who's more of an influencer in basketball? Basketball players or hip hop artists?
Fair. Okay, so basically subject matter experts, and in crypto, definitely subject matter experts are cryptographers / developers.
They're the influencers. They have more influence. Yeah.
Fair enough. we can just kill this debate now. Unless somebody wants to.
Chinmay, you have more influence than I do. I'm a cultural leader. You're a developer, but you have more influence and impact than I do.
I like to believe that. Thank you. My ego boost for this week.
Yes.
All right. Let's just move on to the next subject, because again, it can be like this was a vague topic. There was a fun discussion about it. I wanted to have it, but this is a big one. You guys know what BLINKS launched by Solana is?
I saw it. Yeah. Luckily, I saw it. Ting from the Jump community posted it in our Jump channel. So thank you to community for making sure I'm aware of it. My first reaction is love the branding. I'm just like, oh, BLINKS, blockchain links.
Blockchain links.
Yeah. Awesome.
They got naming right.
NFT.
Yeah.
BLINKS that's cool. That's cool. It's cool branding. I have no idea beyond that, like the tech. I think I saw somebody post that it's a huge security, like there's
it is
some security issues with it. The tech side, I would love to hear what you have to say about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So the way it works is you have to install an extension. In this case, the extension is already installed. Damn it, I'm losing the name of the wallet. Jojo, if you can help me remind the name of the wallet, that would be super cool. But it's a Chrome extension wallet. And in that wallet, if you generally have, and on Twitter, if somebody posts a link per se, and link is just another URL, but if its URL is formatted in a particular way, then Chrome extension will identify that and replace that URL with a full-fledged element. An element will have buttons, element will have images, element have some visuals, and other things that go with it. I actually just recently found a blog that says 50 ways you can use BLINKS. I'll share that with the team, or I'll share it in the Jump channel itself. But this is the general idea. Yeah, please.
So it's the name is BLINKS, blockchain links. Is it really blockchain?
So
what's the blockchain in it?
So blockchain in it is, for example, you're aware of Etherscan, so I'll probably focus on Etherscan more. But if you take an Etherscan link, let's say, and put it on Twitter, and the link is to a smart contract of the new NFT that you just minted, that you just like about to sell, then this Chrome extension will take that Etherscan link, identify that this is a special link, which is a blockchain link because it's an Etherscan link. It will just expand it as a actionable component inside the Twitter feed itself. So some people are calling it frames outside of Warpcast in a way as well. That's one way to look at it. One way to look at it is this is how we onboard Web2 folks into Web3 in general. So there are a few ways to look at it. Yes, of course.
Another question. I like when you said this is frames outside of Warpcast.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say, okay, from what my understanding is of frames is like, oh, frames is actually that open graph technology that's been around for a long time. It's not really Web3 tech, although Web3 tech can do stuff inside of it. And then what I'm hearing with BLINKS is like, BLINKS is more Web3 tech. Like it can't exist without the Web3 tech. Whereas like frames can exist without the Web3 tech, but you can put Web3 inside of it. BLINKS doesn't exist without Web3 tech. Is that right? Or did I not get it?
The purpose of BLINKS to do actionable tasks on blockchain. So Your summary is correct. Let me put it that way. Your summary is correct. You can have just a card of information. The technology, like again, this is an old technology. They are simply saying identify a particular type of URL and then represent it with some other information and just inject it directly in the context so that people don't have to leave the context, right? Like when I'm on Twitter and I want to know whether this transaction really went through, well, you can, without going to Etherscan, you can find it in the context in Twitter itself, right? That's the whole goal about it.
It is basically like frames in that it's not fundamentally blockchain technology. It's older technology, but it does enable blockchain technology and experiences and all that stuff. So my next question is, so Solana launched this, is that correct? Does it only work with Solana or is it multi-chain?
No, it's only Solana right now. I'm trying to remember the name of the wallet that launched it as well. Again, Jojo, if you can help me find out the name of the wallet, that would be super handy. But it's only Solana. It works with only one browser extension, which has, of course, like millions of downloads. So it has penetrated somewhat a market. It only works on Twitter right now. I don't think there are other websites that they are scanning. But the point of what I'm trying, but the higher potential here is, if this works, then we should think in the context of, what if instead of a Brave browser, what if instead of a Chrome extension, the Brave browser has this functionality inbuilt? Because Brave is a blockchain browser in a way. So what if that is already there? What if this becomes, let's say, an internet standard, so all the browsers support it, right? Like browsers support HTML. Why can't they support? I don't want to call it BLINKS because it's only Solana specific, but I'm pretty sure everyone will start calling it BLINKS as well. So what if the BLINKS is recognized URL format that is a way for browsers to render the content whenever it's available? Right now, if you look at, like, whenever you put an email, Gmail will automatically know where to really like how to highlight an email, and when you click on it, it will automatically. So because there is a particular format, Blink is just another format that can be used, and then people can render it however they want. So this is how I can see this becoming a standard. I don't think Blinks becomes the standard, but I can see like in a newer version of it, people go and standardize it. Just like frames, there is something called Open Frames, a standard that is now just launched by Lens this week in this context. So I can see this becoming a standard in a way where people try to like collect all the different stakeholders and say, okay, let's try to come up with a standard so that we can move the needle on all the departments. That makes everything much easier.
So if
the negative part, yeah, go ahead.
Let's assume this became a standard for browsers.
Yeah. Oh, that's a few years, but yes.
Yeah, but I want to play that out and understand what the ramifications are of that. So if this becomes a standard, does this basically give distribution to things on chain?
It basically creates a consumer bridge from online to on chain, because now everyone can see it, and now everyone will like, oh, I'm curious what this thing is. They click on it, and suddenly with the technologies like KeyPass, where the wallet is automatically created in the browser as well, that the onboarding becomes like super seamless, super duper seamless. So that's where the whole flow can go. If it becomes like, for example, like why is it important to have Brave wallet, where the wallet itself is like right there and people can do the transactions because it's right there and then. Same thing, but even bigger impact.
Yeah. So Apple's never gonna adopt this.
Safari will never do that, but who uses Safari? Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but Brave would do it, and this would be Brave's frame movement for Farcaster, right? Like, where
that would be enough to get me to use Brave, because I don't use Brave. I'm just stuck in my Chrome days and haven't moved over.
So, and I use Brave on a daily basis. We should probably reach out to some Brave team members and say, make BLINKS a standard that is used by any EVM, any like blockchain, and maybe they will pay you a grant to do so, and that's Brave's monetization strategy for a temporary time frame.
Yeah.
So, anyways, this is I think groundbreaking. Anything? Sorry, Shakti, you want to say something?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the wallet you were looking for was Phantom.
Uh, I think it is Phantom. Yes.
Yes, and I was just reading Nadar's like um, tweet on it. So he's saying what he was saying. It's not a protocol specific thing. It's a standard.
Yep.
And we I'm actually a part of this group called Blink Devs. So people are already
Oh,
like
are you?
looking into yeah. So for
Amazing.
Poster also we're working on a Blink because Poster is Solana compatible, right? So we are actually shipping action for minting Solana NFTs via Blink.
That's amazing. Is it a Telegram group or a Discord group?
Yeah. It's a Telegram group. And so interestingly, like my devs are also very involved in the Solana ecosystem. So
Nice.
these boys were like so excited. And the first react that I had when they shared about Blinks was, oh wow, this is like the Solana answer to frames. Because if you want to sort of experience a frame, you have to go through, say, like signing up a Warpcast account, pay up $5, get into the ecosystem, and then you sort of get to experience the magic of frames. Because when I talk to people about my product and go around, I have to explain them what a frame is if they are not from this ecosystem.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
And here, like they've done, the strategy of like find people where they are instead of trying to gather people in one place. Like for example, Midjourney won over so many AI creation stacks that were existing because Midjourney presented a solution where people were already you know, active
Yeah.
every day
People right
via
there.
Discord, while other AI sort of apps wanted you to go to their website and their creator and, generate there. So I think distribution strategy wise, if you're breaking away from social protocols, because Solana didn't have like a powerful social protocol so far, right? And
Yep.
with this, it just seems like fuck it, we'll go wherever people are.
Absolutely. So this is exactly what I wanna hear more about, right? Like, do you see this a shift in more Solana adoption from the developer side? I know some developers hate Solana, and some people are not on Solana, including ourselves. Like Percs don't support Solana at least at this point in time. But since Blinks this week, we were like, you know what? We should reconsider Solana now because I think this is a technology that can really like drive more
Yeah,
adoption from the practical point
absolutely.
of view.
Absolutely, because whatever said and done, I as a founder want to be where new tech is and where user experience is,
Yeah.
good. So, which is why Blinks has also done like a great job of, washing away all the celeb meme coin shit that we were giving Solana for. Like we were practically like, condescending about it. Oh, Solana meme coins,
Yeah.
celeb shit. But here they've come back and now all the developers and founders on Solana have shipped Blinks
To
as we
Blinks.
speak, right? So it's already in action. This is like
Yeah.
how when frames were first introduced and all devs like stayed up 1 2 nights, in the initial days just to ship out a frame to get started with. Like I
Exactly.
learned like how to fork a GitHub and ship a frame in that week because I was like, there's so much possible. And I can see like interesting projects on Solana have already shipped. So it's nice to see so much action happening. And like for example, there are use cases like crowdfunding. So there's
Hmm.
Cubic, which is like the Solana equivalent of Bitcoin. They
Yeah.
already ship the frame, so it's easy for now people to crowdfund their projects and funding requirements on a Twitter feed. I
Wow.
think
You
that
mean
is,
they build a Blinks already? Blink actions
yeah,
already.
yeah,
Nice. Okay. This is
yeah.
this is amazing, right? This is exactly where we need to explore and see where it needs to go. Wow, this is great insight.
Thank you. So,
So
you know,
So, by the way, like one question that I have regarding Solana versus EVM, like all the tool set is now, like it's hard to create tool set that works with Solana and EVM. both. How are you handling that, Shakti? Because your technology works with both as well, right?
Yes.
How many development time do you spend on make it cross compatible?
I just hire people that believe in, being multi-chain open internet culture.
That's totally
So
fair.
yeah. Having said that, uh, dev is the first step to it. GTM in different ecosystems is another beast that we need a complete new episode for, because we still are supremely tribal in our,
Yeah.
affiliations. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. So GTM is a different ball game altogether for different ecosystems. Having said that, uh, we honestly are in this time in evolution of blockchain that every day something breakthrough is coming, and the more we are receptive, open, nimble, and adaptive of it, the farther we will, you know grow together as ecosystems, as products, as it's all about constant,
Constant changes. Yeah.
improvisation and adoption.
So what social network are you going to join after Farcaster that is in the Solana ecosystem? Give us the alpha.
um, we just might make one.
Amazing. Love that answer. Well, if you create one, then that's the reason I will be joining more Solana.
We do
So
have a moonshot called quack.fun, but let's see. So we
Quack.fun.
were the first ones actually to have a client that was based on Farcaster protocol but didn't need you to have an EVM.
Hmm. Okay. Right. I'll definitely check out Quack.fun. By the way, I see the logo and everything. It looks pretty cool.
Thank you. It's still a moonshot. We are working on it like in the lab right now, but should be out sooner than that.
Cool. I'll try it out.
Chinmay, how long
Yes.
before we see a EVM blink?
Not long. Uh, it depends. Uh, MetaMask a little longer because MetaMask is like, oh my god, I don't know why, but they're supposed to be a startup, but they are an enterprise or worse than that these days. Uh, but still the best wallet in many cases. I would not be surprised if Rainbow Wallet takes the lead and then launches Blink's version of EVM right away because they, I think, are the most nimble in this case. And the second one I would say is Coinbase Wallet because Coinbase Wallet is also so freaking nimble in most cases.
Yeah, it
The
seems like
problem though,
yeah.
sorry, the problem is uh, the industry is trying so hard to get away from browser extensions with passkey, with mobile apps that work cross with like phone and desktop and everything. And here is one more Chrome extension or browser extension that is needed to adopt, like get adoption, which is bonkers. So I think we're going two step forward and like maybe sometimes one, sometimes two, sometimes three step backwards. So I don't know what that balance would look like. Also, Blinks are not uh, mobile compatible at all because there is no browser extension because there is no way a third party React Native app can start rendering links and all those things. So they are not compatible, and most consumer are on these days on mobile, not on the desktop. So given that it is a groundbreaking technology, given that we blockchain folks are open to trying new technologies, and but if there is a way to convert this into a standard and create like, oh, this is a table stake for any apps if they want to support it, if we get to that point, there is definitely a big support system that can come out of it. Will it be called blinks or frames? I don't know.
The only thing that's going to scale on desktop is going to be B2B. So if somehow this were like solved an enterprise or small, medium, large, whatever, all the way to enterprise, there could be some sort of scale. But like you said, if it's not a mobile first approach,
It's tough. It's very
no.
tough. MetaMask survived because it was still like it was launched in 2016-17, if I remember correctly. And that time it was still halfway desktop, halfway mobile transition. People were not fully on mobile yet. They were, but not most of it. So they were still okay with it. People still did like financial activations on desktop. People felt more comfortable buying online on desktop compared to on mobile in 2016-17. Now, if it's not mobile, it's really tough to get that adoption.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that
How
plays out.
much of your NFT collecting or minting from Webcast you do on your mobile versus desktop?
Most on mobile.
99% desktop.
Oh, desktop.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Why so? Because the browser extension is right there.
And I haven't minted in a while.
So, like when I was in India, when I was not in the States, it was a challenge because a lot of these mints are Coinbase wallet. I only got the smart wallet very recently. So because of that, I was minting mostly from my desktop.
Okay,
so Chin, but for both of you, Cyber and Chinmay, when you're minting mobile, what are you using to mint? What are you in? You're in your Coinbase wallet, or are you minting?
So
what apps?
if I'm minting from Warpcast per se, it becomes like click a button, it opens my Coinbase wallet or Rainbow wallet or like the flavor of the day at that time, and whichever does like a good mobile link connection. I try Coinbase wallet first. If not, then Trust wallet. If not, then Rainbow wallet. That's my general go-to on mobile. But if it is outside of Warpcast, because it doesn't have app, it will be like a browser, Brave browser that I would open in it, like Zora link or something. That would automatically send me inside the browser for Coinbase, and I would use like a wallet browser at that time and then mint it.
So you're discovering when you're minting in mobile, not in Warpcast, because Warpcast is a pretty good, mostly mobile experience.
Yep.
When you're not in Warpcast and you're finding these other mints, you're also the discovery of these are also on your phone.
In most cases, yes. Like right now, discovery for most of the mints for me are happening through Twitter, which is mobile app, or it's happening through like Warpcast per se. Those are the two places that I'm getting most of discovery. By the way, I'm not a big minter. I don't mint much, but whenever I do, it's happening through these two applications. So that's why BLINKS is awesome, but at the same time, it's like going backwards.
Yeah.
So
not optimistic for BLINKS.
No, I am optimistic. I think this is a great launch. Like, like the way it works, in my opinion, is you need waves of adoption. And like once you get the wave adoption, then there is a normalization phase where it gets collected. There has to be a normalization phase. For example, if you look at Lens used to call their frames technology portal. And before that, something else. Like I actually love the word smart post. I think smart post is better than like frames as a keyword, but because Warpcast was able to get frames adoption, Lens kind of dropped everything they were doing in the smart post and portal direction, rebranded everything to frames, and just say, hey, Lens now supports frames. So it just which is the again adoption. The hype and then normalization and standardization, right? So that's how it's gonna go.
Yeah, Lens, you could actually mint from your timeline before such words even existed. Like that was a core use case of Lens to collect data or pick people on chain, without moving anything. Right.
Yeah.
A lot of this tech came to Farcaster in later stages because we built on Lens first. I sort of know the timeline that you're talking about. Like,
no, absolutely.
It was normal for any user to just shitpost something and set the collect options there, and it indexed everything. And once a collector collected it, it landed in your wallet without leaving feed.
Exactly, right? Like in my opinion, Zora survived is probably a strong word, but Zora was like Zora stayed relevant because of Lens adoption inside Zora. Oh, sorry, Zora adoption inside Lens. And then when Frames launched, then it just made those experimentation faster on Warpcast. So everyone's like, okay,
Yes.
now I can run faster
Yes.
iteration of experimentation. You could do everything in Lens before, like all of it. But the amount of iteration, like it would take 2 to 3 weeks of iteration, and like probably 3 to 5 different parties coordinated to get one feature out. Frame became, you don't need anyone's approval. You can go live in 2 hours if you want to. So it
Oh,
becomes like a
oh, it
faster
was a
iteration cycles.
pain. It was a pain. So we were one of the first teams to actually power a cross-chain open mint action on Lens, and I'm
Yeah,
talking
I
about
remember the demo, by the way.
pre-V2 days. Okay, so this is pre-November 23, okay?
Yep,
And
yep.
we had deployed an open action wherein user could collect from their feed, pay in Matic, but the minting will happen in Zora network, in Zora currency, and drop in your wallet. So we were managing the swapping and the bridging at the back end for the user. We deployed this open action, but unfortunately, around that time, what happened was Lens went into V2 migration phase, and a lot of front ends did not have the time or the chance to adopt our open action. So the experimentation and the bridging and everything that we did, it was just
Yeah. So you needed to
nobody
coordinate
actually
with
used
Lens, you have
it.
to coordinate with Hey XYZ, you have to coordinate with Orb and 5 other front ends to say, hey, I built this open action, install in your system.
Yeah,
With Warpcast, because there's only one client in this case, there's like, oh,
yeah,
we support open frames or we support frames, and suddenly just like faster experimentation. And that
yeah,
drove
absolutely.
the adoption. But anyways, that's exactly why I think Blinks will go where it's great technology. It's an amazing demo, but we still need to find out what those like who's part of the, if there is a word like Blinks collective, like which teams are coordinating, and if there is enough teams coordinating in this context, then it can become a standard like Open Blink standard, like just like Open Frame standard. If that's a word, they can merge two. Once that happens, then we'll see the real adoption.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, this is my theory. I still will be experimenting. I'll let you know how it goes. And I want to
Yeah.
hear, Shakti, your experiments as well.
Oh, now?
So, like, whenever it's ready, if you have a demo, I'll take it.
Okay. Blinks. Sorry. I
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah. Yeah, whenever you're ready with Blinks, I would love to take the demo. But
oh
we
yeah,
are
yeah, 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 yeah. This week I'll send over.
perfect. We need to add that to the next week's vlogs already.
Yeah.
Last one, Hypersummer by uh, Hypersub. I don't know if you guys looked at this. This is, I'm conflicted here, which I don't like. I think it's important. It feels right, but at the same time, I don't know what this would look like at scale, like or where this should look like at scale. Uh, what they did is they're simply saying this is a curated list of few content creators that have subscription on Hypersub. We're creating a marketing campaign, Hypersummer, where you pay once, one amount, and then you get the subscription with all of them all at once. And while
Hmm.
showcasing their latest V2 uh, contract. I just like paid $10 recently and got access to like YB, TED, and a few other groups. They generated
Okay.
$12,000, roughly $12,000 to $30,000 in revenue within the first 24 hours for Hypersub. They are giving it all away to fight with crypto or stand with crypto movement. But the point is, I feel it right because it's supporting the crypto creators, but I don't know why, but it feels like charity at the same time. Because I don't know what value I'll be getting from these creators. Like they're awesome folks. Like I know YB, I've talked to Dad, I've talked to a few others as well. But it feels still like charity of like I'm gonna try this rather than, oh, this is useful and it's worth paying $10 a month for this going forward. So have you guys, what are your thoughts? Have you subscribed to any hyper subs or similar stuff? And would love to hear more.
No, I haven't. It's something I continue to come across. The Hypersub team does a good job of just like staying relevant and getting themselves into conversations like this. And I've looked at it a bunch, but haven't pulled the trigger on anything.
Yeah, no, I've used Hypersub, some for creators, some for podcasts. I have the terminally on-chain Hypersub. I have the Proxy Studio Hypersub. Because I have Proxy Studio Hypersub, I got a sweet airdrop of their project as well. Now Nish Professor has been doing like a killer job at GM Forecaster. So I actually became a sponsor for them via Hypersub. So you have to collect
Hmm.
a certain tier of sponsorship NFT. The use cases of Hypersub are insane, and I am actually working on a Hypersub for us as well. So
Hmm.
I think it's very powerful because if you want to give like a premium experience to people, put them in a dedicated group chat, Hypersub is great. Now, while this is about Hypersub, the conversation was about the curated pieces that you can collect, as a demo.
Hmm.
It's great. I want to learn more about how other projects can be a part of their next curation. Like it cannot be just
Yeah, it can be
one
just one
set
time.
all the time. So I'm sure they will have more ways to support more hypersubs. This one was probably just like you said, like showing how the new contract works. So
Interesting. So you do subscribe to those folks and you use that hyper sub in order
yeah,
to attain
yeah.
sponsorship and everything. Why not go directly, right? Like in a standard way. These people are accessible. You can simply say, "I'll give you half an ETH." You can go to
Look,
Nounish Prof. You can
so
go to all
so
of
I
them.
could I could actually like send you a deck and send you my wallet address, or here is a link that gives you multiple options. You can just click on it and you're subscribed. And Hypersub also does the automated DMs, by the way. So
Yeah. So there's still a problem, right? Like one problem is that it's still not a verification of the work done. So let's say you get to you buy the sponsorship package through Hypersub for GM Farcaster with now like the Nounish Prof. If once you do that, on the other side, does who verifies that your sponsorship company package and everything is used in GM Farcaster? Is it you? Is it like is it automated? Is it not automated? Like how does that work?
so obviously that is, also at this point, I think how it works is you know the creator or the person creating, so there has to be like some trust level already.
Yep.
And obviously, like people also do want to continue selling more and more subscriptions, right? So they do want to keep the subscribers happy in that sense.
Fair, 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 fair.
There is
Okay,
no manual verification because for your hyper sub, you could give out perks that are very specific to you. So, for example, if I want like 10 hours of chat one-on-one with Chinmay in 1 month, I could buy that tier, right? Now, did
a
we
package.
actually spend 10 hours?
That's up to basically the buyer and seller to decide.
Yeah. But having said that, because I do see creators doing a kick-ass job. Like if they promise airdrops, they do airdrops. There's not been like a public case of hypersub rug pull so far. So
Gotcha. Okay, I'm not worried
yeah.
about Rockpool. I'm more worried about like, is this how is it different than like instead of just buying it once, it's more like a monthly membership and unlock protocol. Chris is part of Jump Nation, by the way, Jeff, right? So
Mhm.
he has been building this protocol for more than 2 years, or
Oh
probably
wow.
three now, where people can subscribe. It's just not built in a hyper sub manner where there is like a landing page. It's more like it's a smart contract. You have this. You have to build your own landing
Mm,
page. I think the power here is that somebody built the landing page and just made it happen end to end.
honestly, I've not done a deep dive at the protocol level, so I'm not the best one to comment on it. I'm actually just sharing my
Yeah, that's
experiences as a subscriber.
no, that's perfect. Well, at least you're a
Yeah,
subscriber, and I just became a subscriber literally in the last 24 hours. So I'm gonna go and try more stuff along those
yeah.
lines. Uh, we're coming to an hour. Any plugs? Anything you want to talk about?
I think we've done like a wide range of interesting topics. Yes, hubs are having an issue. A lot of media is broken. So, guys, just hang in there. It is early days. These are teething pains.
Don't say teething pains. We're going through one, so it's very painful. Not like literally. I'm not even talking about metaphorically. My second one is going through teething pain.
Yeah.
I'll
Oh,
just
come
say it.
on. We help people publish media. Media not showing up is like the biggest blocker for me. But
It's probably worse than teething pain. You're right.
yeah.
I'm looking forward to what July has in store for crypto. So, and I
Yeah.
believe that's the. Oh, by the way, next Thursday will be 4th of July in the U.S. So I will
True.
not be joining. I will be spending time with family. My dad's coming in
Good.
town. He's going to meet the granddaughter. We're going to have
Ooh.
fun.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That is
Sweet.
definitely.
Any tips on how to spend 4th of July? So this is my first experience of 4th of July in the States.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So number one, definitely find a place to watch fireworks. Depending on the city that you're in, there's going to be different kind of rules and regulations, but a lot of the times a rooftop should get you what you need. And then food wise, hot dogs, good
Awesome.
classic American hot dog.
Gotcha.
Just don't get sick.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, we have July 1st, so like in Canada as well. So
Okay, cool.
Going out and checking out some fireworks, maybe depending on how kids are feeling. If they wanna, like, if one of them is sick, then I'm really staying inside. We'll see. But yeah, we have Sunday. We have a team gathering. Like some of our team members, like Jojo, is in Toronto, and like a few other team members are going to be in Toronto as well during this time. So it will be a fun conversation. But regardless, noted. If you guys cannot make it on Thursday, that's totally okay. Whether we may just like move a day or maybe skip it altogether. We'll decide how many events are happening in 1 week, and then we'll cover all of them in the next week after. But thank you so much for your time, guys. This was fun. I learned a lot. Hopefully others did too. Take
Likewise.
care.
Great lineup today,
Sure.
Chinmay. Very good. Very good. Love the topics.
Thank you so much. We'll continue. Bye.
All right.
Thanks.